Hello, welcome to my videos. Today we're gonna learn about computer history. Okay, before we start about learning the history of the computer, I shall introduce myself. My name is Yudha Pratama Putra, or you can call me Yud, or people around me just call me Annie for short. Alright, without further ado, let's start the history lessons. Okay, here is the table of contents that what we're gonna discuss today. You can take a look before I move on to the first one that we're gonna look. Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, the first one, Generation 1. Before I go to the Generation 1, let's talk about computer in general, shall we? Computer was first made in 1940s until today, and the today one is really awesome. We literally use it every day. Do you want to see how the generation improve and from every each generation? Let's see. We can see it in this video. Don't skip, don't pause, don't double the speed. Let's just get into it. The Generation 1. The Generation 1, as we can see, it's a very big machine. This machine usually use a vacuum tubes. This machine emerged in 1940s and were characterized by their use of the vacuum tubes for processing. They were enormous, like very enormous. You can see the person is really small, as you can see from the picture, and it's like the size of, I don't know, fridge, a refrigerator, yeah, fridge, something that big. Is really slow and consume a vast amount of power, which is really surprising. But it's not surprising enough because it's the first generation. Let's move to the second. The second generation, as we can see, it is much smaller than the before. It's really small, not like this one is really big. Let's go. The second generation. The second generation, which appeared in the late 1950s, meaning it can be around like 1959. I don't know. It's late 1950. They will replace vacuum tubes with transmitter, which is a step further because vacuum tubes are very big, making computers smaller, faster, and reliable. Yeah, you can see the computer is really small here. They are utilize. Okay, just for recap, technology utilized transistor instead of vacuum tubes, which is a step up, size smaller, more compact than the first generation computer. Reliability, more reliable than the vacuum tube computer. Example is IBM 1401, IBM 1790. The creator for the second generator computer were developed by the company like IBM, which stand for International Business Machine Corporation, which play a significant role in advancing computer technology during this era. Okay, let's move to the third generation, shall we? The third generation. Oh no, we don't have a picture right now, but let's just see the picture. It's very small, it's very compact, it's really to be, we can maybe lift it up and make it, and we can bring it everywhere. It seems like, as we can see, it's very small. Yes, this is the picture of the third generation computer. It seems to be familiar because it's almost the same with our generation. It's arrived by 1960s. Third generation computer arrived that time, utilizing integrated circuits or IC. You know what IC is. This breakthrough drastically reduced the size of the computer, which you can see it's really small, and increased their processing power even further. From only calculating in the first generation, you can do so many more tasks in here. Okay, let's see the recap of the third generation. So the technology employ integrated circuit or ICs or semiconductor chips. The size further reduction in size and weight compared to the second generation, which mean is very smaller than the second one. Improved performance and computational capabilities. Example of this computer are IBM System 360, DEC PDP-8. The creator are companies such as IBM, Digital Equipment Corporation, also known as DEC, and Texas Instruments were among the key players in the development of the third generation computers. Let's see. Let's go to the fourth generation. The fourth generation computer. Oh my god, it's really small. It's really similar to our PC nowadays, but it still has a little difference, which we can see the monitor is still cube, the keyboard is still the same, but yeah, there's still a difference in the keyboard between the old one and the new one, but we don't talk about that. We talk about the computers. Let's dive in. The generation 4 or the fourth generation computer emerged in 1970s and continued to miniaturize the component, which is the component inside it, make it more smaller and smaller than the before one, which but we don't see the difference in, like, maybe we don't see the difference between the generation 4 and the generation 3 in term of size, but the inside is more miniaturized or make it more compact and smaller, while increasing the computational speed. This era saw the rise of personal computer, which mean this is the birth of PC, which is the 1970s, the birth of PC, personal computer at home, so you can work at home with your PCs. And also this time is the birth of the internet, meaning the internet is online, the Google is online. Finally, you can browse shit in internet. Okay, let's do a recap of the fourth generation. Technology introduced microprocessor, which means the processor is much more smaller than the generation 3. Micro means small, obviously. Combining multiple components on a single chip, which is a step up because combining thing usually take a lot of time, and a single chip, which means like combining so many stuff in like a single chip is really impressive. Size, in terms of size, smaller form factor, leading to the rise of personal computer, meaning in the size it's more smaller than before. Obviously it's just getting smaller and smaller, making the rise of the PC finally happening in 1970s. User friendly, it is user friendly, more user friendly than interface and software. Networking, expansion networking capabilities, which is like the start of the internet, obviously. The leading to the development of internet. Example of this piece computer are Apple II, IBM PC, Commodore PAT. The creator are companies like Apple, IBM, and Commodore play pivotal roles in this shaping the fourth generation of computer. Uh, Also, I don't really do marketing for this any of these uh, any of these companies. Let's just go dive into the fifth one. What shall we? The fifth one, the final one, the PC we know and love. We can see the PC we know and love, at least. The fifth generation, or the generation which come into 1980s until present. We can see the PC, the box PC that we can see in the background, the non-box monitor, the mouse and the keyboard, which is awesome. Comparing to the fourth generation, yeah, it's the box is still the monitor is still very boxy. Okay, let's just dive into the last generation. In the last generation, we can see we have a laptop. We also have a PC, a gaming PC, a small laptop which is like smaller. I bet it's 50-inch or something. You can fit it in your backpack. You can make it everywhere. It's very easy to bring everywhere. This time, which also in the fifth generation, it introduced us to cell phone or phone in general, which is making your communication with people much easier. We don't talk about the phones, but yeah, they were made here. In fifth generation computer, these are the computer of today, characterized by their incredible processing power, such as like Intel i9 Gen 13. It's really powerful for do everything very much like gaming, 3D rendering, editing, do work, do 3D work, uh, rendering and stuff like that. Yeah, also in this fifth generation, we are introduced to artificial intelligence, or in short, is AI, and also interconnectedness. Okay, so we can see that like the computer is much more faster in term of internet speed, in term of processing unit, and also in term of size is much more smaller now. If you see the PC, it's big because maybe it's for like big rendering stuff. Maybe it's big because of that, but nowadays just smaller, like iPhone 13, iPhone 14, iPhone 15 is much smaller than the computer we know, the first computer we know, which made in 1940s. It's really big compared to the person. You can just bring the computer nowadays everywhere, basically. For the recap, let's go to for the recap of the fifth generation technology marked by advanced AI, parallel processing or multi parallel processing, also multitasking, multiprocessing. It's available right now, and quantum computing. In size, it's continued to be a more smaller, leading to the development of powerful handheld device, or you can just bring it everywhere. You can fit it in your pocket like phone. There's also a mini PC that you can fit in your pocket. It's really small, even smaller than your phone sometimes. Oh my god, I cannot believe that exists. Connectivity increase in through the internet and wireless communication. Basically, the LAN and the non-LAN is much more faster. The example of this device is PCs, because the PCs you make is like you make it. There's no company make it. Laptops, which made by different companies, smartphones such as Apples, Samsungs, and other stuff. I don't know. Tablets, I iPads, I guess, and like emerging technology like quantum computer. But I don't want to talk much about that because I haven't done my research. The fifth generation computer has seen contribute the creator. I mean, so many company make it, like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and research working on cutting edge technology like quantum computing. Also, there's like more company that make a processor such as Intel, AMD. More company make a phone like Samsung and iPhone, Apple. Basically, Apple make everything, but it's so expensive. Samsung is better. I mean, more cheaper, not better. I don't know, dude. Also, there's a company that make a VGA like Nvidia, AMD stuff. RAM, so many company made it. Monitor, so many company made it. Like Asus, Acer, and so many other. I cannot. We cannot just like set all the company in like short video. So we just gonna leave it hanging. All right, that's all of the generation. Thank you. And before we finish this, I wanna say though about the generation 1 to generation 5 in recap. The first generation basically have the biggest machine, like it's very big, it can fill up your whole houses. It's very big, it's very slow, consume a big energy. To the second generation, it make a bit smaller, although it's still big, but it's more smaller. It's more faster. The big one, I mean is you cannot hold it, you cannot like move it around. It's still big, although it's more compact, but it's still big. The speed is it's better than the last one, although not, I don't think it's very much different. The first, oh yeah, also the first one is only able to compute like a sum of one of plus one. Moving on to the third, it's we can see from the slide, it's becoming smaller. Although it's very lacking of colors, it's become smaller. It become more faster than before. It introduced ICs, which is very important to the history of this computer science stuff. Also, very big, still a bit bigger than the next generation, but it's becoming smaller. Basically, it improved the performance improvement through the fourth gen, which where PCs is make has been introduced to us, which meant personal computer, like people have the computer at home to work from, which led to faster processing units, smaller form factors, and cheaper things rather than the first generation. Moving to the fifth generation, we know and love today. We have a smaller monitor, we have smaller PCs, we have smaller everything. We, they even introduced us to the laptops, which is like equivalent to PCs that you can bring everywhere. It's easier. they, they also introduce us to phones, iPads, and all other things basically, which you can help and bring everywhere you like. It also introduced us to bigger and better internets. It's very wide right now. Rather than the fourth one is the first time the internet has come. Like now the fifth generation, you can basically do realistic rendering. Like you can make like a real animation, a real fire on a laptop, a real drawing, a real editing, a real earthquake editing, basically everything, because today it's become powerful. And maybe just maybe it got more powerful in the future and got more smaller, obviously, because every generation make everything smaller. Thank you for listening to my videos, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye, my friends, and see you on another videos. Goodbye.